So I was minding my own business the other day.
Oh shit. So was I.
And here comes Orlando Brown.
Man, what you do to that dude, man? What the fuck you do to my man? My boyfriend.
Someone said,
allegedly,
he claimed that you originally gave the blue 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 bop.
Yeah. We joking, and I wanted to joke and laugh with it so much more, but when you know that brother is truly in pain and crying out for help, and really, I see when I look out, I'm like, oh, how did we abandon such a talented young dude, and now we're laughing at him? You know what I mean? We used to laugh with him, now we laughing at him. And I've seen that happen so many times in our community where you watch this, like I said, man, he was brilliant in Major Payne. And he's on Jamie Foxx show, the chili cheese fries. And that's so like, yo, I used to really watch that kid and love that kid. You know, you see him out at little red carpets and stuff, and like, you like, yo, the kid is popping. You know, like he gonna be somebody. And then you slowly see this turn, whatever it is. You know, I've heard various things. Like I said, I don't really know, dude, but you hear whether it's substance abuse, whether it's psychiatric disorders, just hard times, and he's not the only one. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of these people in the industry. It's funny, man. Like even man, it's like the movie I produced and starred in, Underclassmen. Like 3 or 4 the young actors in there committed suicide.
Wow.
And I was like, damn. You know what I mean? Like when you know, and these were, you know, I'm young when we doing these movies. I'm casting kids like 18, 17, 16, and these are my peers. And you look up 10 years later, and it's literally because that audition didn't go well, or because they didn't get this job, or you know, my parents wanted me to make this amount of money this year so I could continue to support them. I didn't, therefore we fell out, and now I take my own life. Like, this industry is a motherfucker, man.
Well, I've interviewed Orlando.
I've seen your interviews.
I've interviewed him.
And that's what I'm saying, but I'm not picking anything, but if I had to analyze it, like, where's your line of like, all right, I'm low-key exploiting this dude because I know mentally he's not well?
It's a fine line. I feel you. I could tell you that the persona that you see on camera with Orlando is not an act. Yeah, that is the same Orlando that I was dealing with before the camera started rolling.
Yeah, and that's be someone who's dealt with mental illness all my life, from my family members to now. Even one of the reasons why I went back to school and get my master's in, you know, neuropsychology is to understand the brain, because I've seen people. I know what a manic episode looks like. I know when someone's mind is moving so fast, you're like, dang, hey, that's genius. But then soon as you hit that, like, it's a beautiful mind. Soon as you hit that one corner, now they're seeing stuff. Now they're schizophrenic. And it's like, it's so dangerous from where you see somebody like, oh, they're making you laugh and crack up one moment. The next second, they're jumping off of something, or they're slitting their wrist because they don't have control of their neurons and how fast they're interacting. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's a little bit more complex and it gets deeper, but I can pick up on mental illness probably, you know, better than most, just because I've dealt with it all my life.
Yeah, it's mental illness. I think it's heavy drug use. I mean,
which is a byproduct of mental illness,
well,
quite often, because you're trying to find. It's really because a lot of it is chemical imbalance.
Yeah, so
you're trying to self-medicating to get your balance right.
It's self-medication. It's, you know, lack of funds.
And from, again, like we always talked about, access to excess, and that idea of I was once here, and I just want to get back. One more job, one more. If they recognize how talented I truly am. So now you're chasing something that's no longer realistic. Opposed to you chasing this Hollywood life, opposed to getting help to just normalize who you are. And it happens on various levels. And that's the thing, like, it's like, I didn't even feel like I really needed to address it, because I thought,
I didn't really think that you gave fellatio to Orlando Brown. In fact, we weren't even going to post it until you responded.
Yeah.
If you look, I'm like, ignore this. Yeah. Okay, he's tripping.
But that's the thing. That's what fucked me up, is the fact that, because I was people were like, no, you see, I was like, yo, and I gotta pray for my young brother, man. Like, and then legitimate media outlets started posting this.
Yeah.
And that's what got me upset because,
Yeah,
again, my Malcolm X went on, and I was like, when he always says the media is the most powerful thing in the world because it'll have you, hating the oppressed and loving your oppressor. And I'm like, wow, like clearly, who is this headline helping? And when I watch my own people post shit, and I'm like, okay, so this is clearly clickbait. Do you get extra money for posting this? Because clearly you see my young brother is in pain and struggling, so you're exploiting him. Then you come at me for no reason, like big headline, Nick Cannon sucks dick, and I'm like, all right. And I'm like, how does this work? And we've had this conversation off camera before because one thing Vlad TV is a master at at the headline. And you know how to, even in the conversation, you know how to get somebody to click it to say, I want to watch that. Even if the words are moved around. But then when it's moved around to not just for clickbait, but to tear down something, and then I gotta sit up here and spend my time like dealing with something that's so utterly ridiculous. I was like, yo, let's get to the root of the issue. Like, you want to believe I suck dick? All right, where's your Nick Cannon sucks dick confirmation check? Yes. Sucking all the dick in the industry. That's going to be the headline, too. Bill Adams going to put that up there. Yeah. But Nick Cannon says he sucks all the dick in the industry. But, like, come on, man. Like, that's the most ridiculous thing, pardon the pun, I've ever heard. But that's not what needs to be addressed. The two things I felt needed to be addressed, the fact that my young brother needs help, and the fact that iHeartMedia, when I saw iHeart posted, I saw Complex post, I saw Shade Room, World Star, these are $1 million entity. If they don't have $1 million, they're owned by companies that got billions. And they sit in those $1 billion companies, those establishments, are sitting back laughing at us like, look how they love to tear each other down. No other community but our community does that. No other community laughs and jokes at someone else's turmoil or someone else, whatever the situation is. And I feel like that's where I was like, I want to elevate the frequencies that we on, man. And the fact that, like, the funniest shit to me is like, I wrote a whole dissertation about this. And it's like, man, anybody got to write that much shit, they got to be sucking dick. Like, that's the gayest paragraph I ever seen. My mother, fuck that paragraph.
I'm not reading that shit.
I ain't reading that shit. That nigga suck that dick. You said you wrote all them fucking words, them dick sucking words.
You sucking a dick while you're writing it.
The fuck are my people? These are my people.